time is right. Can't get you better days as you make it through the night. You gotta make it through the night.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Infinite Health and Wellness channel with Dr. Tracey McCarthy. Our first project and activity for our channel after our long absence is the Project Hope project, and it is helping others persevere and endure, and it is a homelessness project. And we're going to look at the definition of homelessness, the statistics related to homelessness, the face of homelessness, and how we can help as a community. And so to clarify, homelessness, when we talk about homelessness, we're basically talking about individuals or sometimes even entire families that lack a regular and adequate nighttime residence, so they don't have a stable, regular home of their own. And so they may, live with relatives, for one night, or be at a homeless shelter or something like that. But that's not a regular and adequate, stable residence that belongs to them. And so this project is going to help us to take a lot of the energy that so many people have outside of the internet and take that energy out into the real world so that we can make our entire world better, our entire community, our neighborhoods, our states, our nations. We can make them better one person at a time, and that one person is you, and that one person is the one person that you elect to assist on their road in life. And so the focus is on perseverance and endurance. And so sometimes when individuals are homeless, they just need a helping hand. They need something to help them to persist and endure so that they can carry on until the next day. Many people are actually employed in homeless, and so they are really just trying to get on their feet to get back into a stable residence. But then there are some who are perhaps permanently homeless because of health issues, particularly mental health issues, and they may just need some help just to make it to the next day. And so they need some sense of hope, to have some sense of faith that there may be a brighter day. So if they can just make it through the night, there may be a brighter day. And so endurance and perseverance, it's really about continuing in life, in the face of difficulties. So we all face difficulties, but that ability to overcome or move around or under a difficulty is what perseverance and endurance is all, that's what they are all about. And so it's about carrying on and persisting and not giving up and just being resilient and determined. And when we are living in a state of what we might think of as abundance, it's easy to forget that there but for the grace of God go I and go you. And so for many people, it's just, one slip and they may end up in the same situation. And another thing that we sometimes forget about is that in order to have that self-actualization, in order to realize overall human potential, in terms of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, those basic lower level needs need to be met first. And so those needs for things like food, clothing, shelter, and safety, and bodily care, and things like that, those are the things that are required first in order to move in a healthy direction onto another level. So even before you get to things like love and education and self-actualization, you really have to take care of those lower level needs. And so that's what Project Hope is about. We are going to assist others with assisting themselves. And before we go on, I just want you to think about something. Have you ever noticed that you tend to be as healthy as the people that are around you? And so when we assist others to be healthier, it actually helps us to be healthier, so that when our environment is healthier, then all of those things in the environment become healthier. And so in that way, you can think about engaging in Project Hope as a way of assisting yourself with being a healthier person in this lifetime. Okay, so let's talk about the situation with individuals who are struggling with homelessness. One of the major things to think about is that because there is no fixed, stable living space, there is a problem with having adequate shelter. And so, particularly in cold climates right now, there's inadequate shelter. That means that there's very little protection from like wind and cold, and rain and snow. In warmer climates, it might be from heat, but right now, winter is the big issue. And there are also issues with having adequate clean clothing and poor hygiene, and that's a risk for infection and disease. And there's often a difficulty getting access to clean water, just to either drink the clean water or to even clean themselves up. And so there's also, of course, a problem with inadequate food. And so without adequate food, it's hard for them to stay healthy, so that they can make it to another day. And so, there's the food, clothing, and shelter issue that is going on for a number of people. And so with Project Hope, what we are hoping to do, what we are expecting to do, is to assist those in our environments with moving forward, with not giving up and not giving in to a sense of despair. And so if you can just help others with just a grain of hope, you'd be amazed at how much it will help you to also develop a sense of hope about your own situations and just the world in general. Now, many people actually want to help other people, but sometimes they just don't know how. They don't know what to do or where to go, and so they might limit themselves to making donations to established charities and things like that. But what you might find is that sometimes it's better and best to cut out the middleman and just go directly to the individuals who need the help and put it in their hands. And I regularly work with the homeless, and so this is a list that I've compiled based upon experience, and so hopefully it will help you in terms of coming up with ideas about what you can do. And it's also helpful if you think about this as a family project. So if you have other family members that can participate, other friends, if you want to do it with your schools, with your churches, if you want to do it with your synagogue, with your temples, or whatever group you're working with, you can try this out with them. But it's also perfectly fine to just do this as an individual activity. And so some of the things that you might want to consider sharing with individuals who are struggling with homelessness is, of course, the first thing is, some people might think shelter, but sometimes it's food. It just depends. But in terms of food, you might want to think about things like fruit, like bananas and apples, things that, can last for a while. They're very healthy, but they can last for a bit. And so they can put it in their bag and keep it with them. And also, bags of vegetables and things like that. Bread is a big one. Bread, crackers, granola, snack packs, cookies, candies. Sometimes people set up shop and do home cooked meals and actually serve, like just go straight to the space that a lot of people are in and serve right there. Bottled water, juice, and interestingly fast food. And so that's a nice treat. Of course, sometimes when people are homeless, they can't afford, a burger at McDonald's for $1, and it becomes a big treat. And so if you have that resource, you might want to go grab a bag of hamburgers and share those. Of course, important things like coats, hats, gloves, and socks. Socks are very important. Keep your feet warm and dry, and it's very important in terms of being healthy. T-shirts, sweatshirts, sweatpants, jeans, sweaters, shoes, luggage, and rain gear. And these things don't have to be brand new. If you have the money to get them brand new, fine. But many of you have things in your closets, in your storage facilities, boxed up, in your drawers that you're not using, you're not wearing. And there are people who would greatly appreciate it if you would share those things with them, because if you're not using them, they're not serving any purpose. And most people have an abundance of things. They have an abundance of, socks and shoes and things like that. And so if there's something that you can share, wash it up, make sure it's clean, and you put a little fabric softener in there and take it to them, and they will greatly appreciate it. Also, shelter. Now, shelter is very important. One of the best things, of course, is going to be a tent. But of course, many people, don't know how to set up a tent, or they may not have tents available. But one of the things that's really helpful is it's really inexpensive if you have it to spare, are tarps. And so you can get tarps at Walmart for like $2 and something, and you can use a tarp to make an actual tent. And so that provides cover. It keeps the wind off. It keeps the rain off. It can also protect their belongings. And you can get a, nice size one, 6x8 or something like that. Umbrellas also are very helpful because they can keep the rain off. Also cardboard. So if you have extra cardboard, or you want to go to the hardware store and get some cardboard, that's helpful to create a level space in terms of sleeping. If you have extra blankets, brand new pillows, okay, not used pillows, but brand new pillows, sheets, and drop cloth. So the plastic drop cloth can also serve as a tarp. And this will be miraculous in terms of creating a shelter, particularly when it's cold outside and when it's raining. And so that protects people from the elements. Okay, now, toiletries. Okay, so some of the toiletries to consider, very important, are things like bar soap. Irish Spring seems to be a big hit. Dial is antibacterial, so that might be a big hit. A washcloth, hand sanitizer, hand wipes, a toothbrush, toothpaste, male and female hygiene products, and incontinence products. A lot of people are elderly and homeless, and so they need help with that. Lotion, Vaseline. Vaseline's really helpful because it can do double duty. It can serve as, many things. People can put it, on their skin, on their lips, on their hair. You can do a lot of things with Vaseline. Shampoo, powder detergent for them to be able to do their laundry. A comb, brush, also cologne. If you have some extra cologne, you're not using it, you have body sprays that you get from different stores, you can share that. Hair products, plastic bags, so trash bags, new trash bags. Sometimes these are used to put belongings in, or to keep trash in, but it's helpful. You can, give 2 bags. If you have extra bags at home, you can just take from your plastic bag stash, and you can share 2 of those, and that can be for clean laundry and dirty laundry. You'd be amazed at the things that you may think are insignificant, but they are significant for other people. And also Glad or whatever hefty Ziploc bags are very helpful. So the sandwich bags or the gallon bags, those are helpful to keep their toiletries and supplies in. Now, if you encounter someone, or someone who is struggling with homelessness, but they are employed, but they don't have transportation, one of the things that might be helpful for them would be bus or train tickets. And also consider magazines. So if you have extra magazines at home that you can spare, you can share those, and that helps with something to do. And also, if you are inclined, if you have a group of people, you can compile a homeless resource list in your community, or you can go and get some homeless resource lists and share those. You can pass those out in the community. And remember, you don't have to do, anything extravagant. If you do one thing, just one thing, you share one thing with another person, you can make a world of difference. And so, if you, just go get a bag of candy or cookies from the dollar store, and you pass out those cookies. So if there are 20 cookies in a package, and you pass out, 2 cookies, to people. That's 10 people that will be made happy on that particular day with those cookies. And also, if you can check to see if you have extra backpacks, luggage that you're not using anymore, and it could be any type of luggage. It could be, a duffel bag. It could be an actual suitcase, because as you can imagine, it's more convenient and better to have an actual suitcase or a backpack versus a plastic bag. And so if you have that to share, that would also be great. Okay, as Diane Reeves is saying, just if we can help people just make it through the night, might see a miracle in the morning. And so this is a map that is sharing, the level of homelessness in different areas. And so you can see that the rates are really high on the coast, and particularly where there are warm areas. And so, there's a high rate of homelessness, particularly in California. California has the highest rate. So you have California with a high rate, you have New York with a high rate, Florida, Texas, up there, Washington, Oregon area, Pennsylvania, Illinois. And so those are some places that have really high rates. And so if you are living in any of those places, there will be plenty of opportunities for you to find people to share with. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up with a few thoughts. Just remember, every life is precious, and a life is a terrible thing to waste. And don't forget those people that are closest to you. We're talking about individuals who are struggling with homelessness, but of course that means that we're talking about the family members of some of the people that are going to be participating in the project. And so make sure to reach out to those family members and friends who may be struggling, and make sure that they also are okay. And so sometimes it's a matter of sparing a dime or sparing a moment of time. And also, one of the things that you can give to people that is free is a smile. And you can give them a listening ear. And so many individuals who are struggling with homelessness sometimes just need a moment of your time. And what we're going to do is, as people participate and engage in the projects, I want you to share what it is that you have done in the comment section. And what this is going to do is it'll serve as encouragement for people who are not feeling encouraged in terms of what to do and how to do it. And so this will give those individuals some encouragement, also give people an idea about some options if they really can't think of some options. If you want to share, what area you think is a best place to help, if you have some ideas, like sometimes people are, at train stations, things like that. So if you have some ideas about that, please share so that people have some information about that. Remember to sometimes it's helpful to go in pairs, because you might feel more comfortable going in pairs, and then you can kind of spread out a little bit. And also just remember to think about this project as almost a self-help project, because when you help other people, you ultimately are going to be helped in the process. I am sure you're going to enjoy this process and look forward to your sharing.